Hey everyone, so it's been a while since I last vlogged and I decided it's a good time to do that since it's been already more than 3 months that I'm training here. So I'm actually more than halfway through the Winter Warrior program. For those who do not know, I'll remind you, or I'll just let you know that I'm doing the so-called Winter Warrior program, which is a commitment of 22 weeks, basically 6 months of training mixed martial arts 5 days per week, every day at 5:30 a.m. to 7. So that's a big commitment, and there's about 12 or 15 of us who are doing it all the time. It's a really great program. I'm learning a lot. It's not easy. I mean, waking up at 5:30 a.m., I had to really relearn to live my life based on the program. What I mean by that is I used to be very much of an owl type of person. I used to go to sleep at 2, 3 a.m. and wake up at like 10, 11, whenever. Now when I need to wake up at 5:30, it's a lot of energy to train every day. There's not a lot of time for recovery. Plus two, I don't train only the Winter Warrior program, but right after the Winter Warrior, so when I train from 5:30 to 7 a.m., I joined the competition team, MMA competition team from 7 to 8, which is very intense. There's oftentimes it's wrestling, which is draining. I find wrestling so draining. It's something I definitely need to keep on working on. Sometimes we do just a whole hour sparring, or everything we do there is intense. I mean, my teammates, they are good and they're not easy to deal with. But so from 7 to 8, I train that, which is exhausting. But if I still have some energy left, I stay for at least 30 minutes or an hour. I do some reflex work or some ladder work. Basically just whatever I feel I need to work on most. Sometimes I also try to nail evening classes, but that's I'm not always able to do that. I'll tell a little bit more about that later. But basically when I know that so much of intensive training is going to happen in the morning, in the first month I would go to bed late, like, well, I mean 10, 11, 12, sometimes even like 1, and I regretted it. I'm not 20, early 20s anymore, and it's just impossible to keep it up. Something that people always told me, especially when I was younger, a bunch of older people would tell me, oh yeah, when you get older, you can't just like you can't miss a night's sleep and then go on. When you're younger you can do that. And I thought, that's bullcrap. It's like, it's them. But no, it's not them. I think right now I'm 29 years old, and I feel 29 is exactly what I'm starting to feel. That if I skip a night's sleep, I did that once during these 3 months, I regret it so bad. Training was so difficult. It's not like way in the past where you could do that. So yeah, I have to learn to adapt to that as well. Sleeping like for 5 hours or so was not enough. So I started pushing myself to make myself go to bed at 7 a.m. Sometimes it goes to 8, sometimes 9, but like 7 is the ideal. 7 a.m. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. European, so that AM PM doesn't really apply to me yet. But yeah, so I go to bed at 7 p.m., which is super early, so that makes my day very short. Basically, that's how my day looks. I wake up at 4:30, I go to the training, I do a bunch of training until 9:10. That's when I come back home. I have a big, heavy breakfast. I go to bed, sleep for a couple of hours, I wake up, I do some YouTube work or something on the internet, respond to emails, etc. for like a couple of hours. Again, I eat, watch something on my laptop, and that's already 7. And I go to bed and wake up, and that's again the same, and the same, and the same. So my life has become pretty repetitive. It's not as exciting in terms of day-to-day wise. Of course, training is exciting. Training is lovely. I really love it. Training here. That's kind of the peak of the day. But aside that, it's just preparation for the next day. Also, if I have enough energy during the day, I started doing some hill sprinting. Like there are some hills next to where I live, so to train my anaerobic ability to go on without oxygen for a while, I learned that one of the ways to do it is running up a hill, and that works out really well. Ever since I started training that, my cardio has improved a lot. So every chance I still have some energy in me after I have my nap, after I have my lunch, I go do that again. I think I'm training about 3 to 4 hours, approximately like 3 to 4 hours per day, 6 to 7 days per week. I try to train on Saturdays as well. Sometimes if I have energy, I train On Sundays, I go to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition where we just do rolling for an hour. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I do a little bit less, but 3-4 hours is the approximate time about how much I do per day, and that's intensive training. It's not just like hanging out. It's pretty much training all the time. So yeah, that takes a toll. It's not easy to deal with physically. But I also feel I improve. I improved a lot. Already jiu-jitsu, I feel like I'm starting to do pretty well with blue belts. I mean, not like advanced blue belt, beginner blue belts, but in the past they were just like beyond me, and now sometimes I can tap them out. So that's definitely progress, and I know much better what I am doing on the ground, standing up as well. Every week, there's a sense of improvement. There's a couple of videos I released. If you saw them, you know it, and I'll release more. But yeah, I definitely feel like I'm learning a lot. So the training doesn't go down the drain. One of the highlights of the week is also from me going to Burton's class, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, which is amazing. It's so good. It's just perfect for me. Whatever he teaches the way I perceive it. He teaches the best of the best, like the really highest percentage approach to jiu-jitsu. And it's not just like, it's not dry technique, but it's kind of an approach to the technique, which is really powerful to learn. And I feel whether it just the training applies perfectly for me or whether it's just like perfect class in general, which I wouldn't be surprised that it is. But after every time I go to his class, which is like an hour and a half, my game improves a lot. Like the next time, pretty much everything he taught me in his jiu-jitsu classes, I was able to apply it in my jiu-jitsu game the next day. And like really like it was a game changer each time. Like if you have seen that video of Matt transforming my mount in 30 minutes, if you haven't watched it, it's a great video, but that's how it feels. I go to this class, I learn something, and then it's in me, and that dramatically changes my game. And so that's the best jiu-jitsu class I participate in and I love. And again, it really makes a big difference in my understanding of what jiu-jitsu is. And yeah, I still don't know a lot of submissions, and I still don't know a lot of sweeps or transitions, but I'm getting there. The gaps are becoming smaller and smaller, and I think I'm definitely not hopeless anymore in jiu-jitsu, which is cool. And one of the last things I wanted to share is the general feeling of being part of SBG. The kind of slogan of SBG is one tribe, one vibe. And that's really how it feels. I really feel part of the tribe. It really feels like a tribe, a community. It's not just a place for training. It's an alive group of people who are really close together with each other and just really welcoming. And even like when after I was here for a few weeks, I think already I was vlogging, and I shared with you guys that I already feel welcome. I already feel part of the tribe. But now it's just like the more time I spend here, the more I feel this is my family. And I'm starting to have a hard time imagining how I will live without training here, without being part of the family. And I think that says a lot. So it's a really special place, and I'm very impressed by how good it feels to be part of such a tribe. And the very last thing I'm sure you're interested to know about is my amateur fight, when it's going to happen. And there's been a bit of confusion about the general Women to Warrior program because the fight was postponed to a date which is after I already have to leave the States. But we're looking into solutions of maybe having like a legit amateur fight, like full-on amateur fight in a local event, or me going to another Women to Warrior program in another state. So we're looking into solutions. It's like a 90% chance that I will get a solution, but the date yet is unclear. So whenever I know when my fight is, I'll definitely let you know. So before I leave, I'm considering to do vlogs, a few more vlogs in the next few weeks. So if you have any questions, you want me to talk about something, or to just share some of my experiences, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're interested in, what questions you have, and I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, thank you for watching the whole video. It's nice to connect up again, and I'll see you on the virtual mat again soon.